Hey, and good Tuesday morning, everybody. Meteorologist Greg Majeski back with you here on the Weather Nerds YouTube channel. Hope you guys are having a great day. Get ready for your severe weather update here for today as we're continuing to track these upper level low pressure systems that are kind of meandering through the country pretty slowly right now. But we got a couple of hot zones we'll be watching here for today. Obviously, we got this pesky low here across portions of New York and Pennsylvania. That's going to be our one hot spot here for today. Bringing in some marginal risk for severe weather. We have some active weather going on right now in Texas. This will also come into Louisiana going into late today. So we're going to break down everything that you could expect for today so you can plan your day effectively if you're in these regions that are being impacted by the weather out there. So let's go ahead and get into this right now as we're going to be looking at the latest here from the Storm Prediction Center. We're going to break this all down. So again, we're looking at those two zones for today, New York and Pennsylvania being the one that we got right now. And we've also got another one down here across areas of the southeast that we're going to be watching here across portions of Texas and into portions of Louisiana here going in for today. As you just kind of heard there, I guess we'll kind of do this live on the fly as we do have some severe weather going on out there currently for this morning. So let's go ahead and take a look at Radar Omega real quick and see what's going on out there with the severe weather going on right now. So let's go ahead and switch over to Radar Omega here real quick. And we'll pull on out. We do have a tornado warning that just came out, just got issued here to the east or west, I should say, of Austin, Texas. This one right here, radar indicated this is right near Blanco and Gillespie counties and goes until about going until about 8 o'clock this morning. So we got some activity going on in there for this morning, some rotation going on in there. Let's look at the velocity on that one as well. It looks fairly weak, doesn't look too strong in there, but again, that's what we're going to see. We're going to see a few isolated tornadoes for today, possibly. We only had one reported yesterday, but we'll see if we get some more activity like that for this afternoon. I know it looks like East Texas is going to be under the gun here for later this afternoon as we got that one lone cell there. Plus, you got this line back here toward the west. So let's go back over to weather-wise. Again, isolated tornadoes like that can be expected here for later this afternoon, especially across East Texas. So let's go back over here, and we will go ahead and break this category down for you here. So we're really going to be focusing on it here for today. So let's look at the tornado outbreak bullseye. There you kind of see it there to the east of Austin is where it's going to be. So we're talking College Station, going over toward areas there north of the Houston area as well, north of downtown Houston and going over to Woodville. So this whole zone here in the yellow, that's going to be your 10% risk for tornadoes. Obviously the brown area, which is where that current warning is sitting at about 5% for today. So that also includes going into Louisiana as well. Now, as far as areas in the Northeast, you don't have to worry about that. That's not your concern up there. What you guys are going to be worried about up there is going to be your wind threat. Obviously running about 5% up there across New York, Pennsylvania, and New Jersey. And then, of course, a much higher risk down here where we have that slight and enhanced area down here for across Texas and going into Louisiana. That's where we're going to see that wind threat for today. And we also got hail. Obviously, that shaded area in here, that's where the problem zones are going to be here, kind of going stretching from the panhandle of Texas almost back toward Dallas-Fort Worth and going back down to the Houston area. So Killeen, Austin also into that zone as well for the possibility of large hail. And you could see some hail up here as well across New York with that cold upper level low. Would not surprise me to see some hail up here across Syracuse, Binghamton, Scranton, and Allentown. All these areas up here across New York State and into Pennsylvania, New Jersey also could see some hail today as well with the system. So as we go ahead and take a look what's going to go on here the days ahead, going to day two, things do settle down here a little bit going into tomorrow, going into your Wednesday. Looks like just a marginal risk down here across areas of South Texas to watch out for there, right there. And then going into day three, things do settle down. So we got to get through the day, and then we get a little bit of a break before it looks like things may pick up activity-wise going in toward next week. So let's go ahead and take a look what's going on here. Yesterday, this is what we had yesterday with the storm reports. We had roughly about 71. So nothing out there to report just yet. We had about 71 reports yesterday in that neighborhood, and I think we're going to be in that neighborhood, maybe a little bit uptick in activity today as far as number of storm reports. We'll see how that works out. The other part that we got to watch is going to be the flooding rain conditions here. We got a lot of flash flood concerns out there. This is stretching from New Mexico all the way back toward Louisiana, Mississippi. So this area is going to continue to get inundated here with rain as this low is going to kind of linger. It's going to take a while, and the areas across the southeast are going to see several days of rain in the days ahead. But that is going to be the concern. Obviously, you see the severe thunderstorm watch that's currently out there right now. And I do suspect we'll probably have tornado watches later today across East Texas. Obviously, with a tornado threat up to about 10%, I do suspect tornado watches is what we'll see in there a little bit later today. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the model data. Let's go ahead and look at that. We're going to break this down. We're going to look at the latest model data on this going here. Let me go ahead and get this up for you here. We're going to look at the 11Z is in. So let's go look at this one. This is going to be for the next 18 hours or so, as we kind of track this upper level low. So let me switch over to the model data here, and we're going to switch over to this, and we're watching this feature down in here. We got this upper low back here toward Texas. This is what we're going to be watching here as this thing starts to slowly move on. Here's the upper low up here across areas of New York. So these are the two areas responsible for the showers and thunderstorms that we're going to see here for later this afternoon. So as we go on through, again, this line's going to be pushing on off. And as we get into that prime heating afternoon, into the early afternoon hours, we're going to see some pretty robust thunderstorms here across East Texas. So we're going to watch that closely here. Again, a few isolated tornadoes not out of the question here for today as this presses on toward the east here. Going in toward 4 o'clock. Then we're going to be talking about, obviously, going into tonight. Looks like Louisiana is going to be under the gun here. Let's go ahead and zoom it a little bit closer here so you can get a better look perspective here. As you can see, a pretty, showing the sample reflectivity, what the radar should look like. Looking pretty good here across Monroe, coming into the northeast sections of Houston, Texas there, with some pretty good rains there as this is going to continue to move off toward the east here. So it looks like a pretty stormy afternoon here across East Texas and going into Louisiana and into Arkansas. And then this will spread into Mississippi as we go into tonight, and then going into tomorrow morning. Obviously, we'll see the pretty heavy rains here kind of moving into toward Alabama and Mississippi. The other part of the system looks like it's kind of lingering back. We'll see some rains here across portions of Kansas, stretching back toward Arkansas, and even some snows in the foothills. That's really kind of neat to see here in May, to see that going on out there. Now, as far as the Northeast is concerned, let's go ahead and talk about that. That's the other marginal risk. We got that big spin. You can see it very well here showing up here on this latest model data here. This is the high resolution model data. You see it spinning up. You see those thunderstorms really flaring up here by the late afternoon hours. So areas there from Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and into New York State. We'll have to watch for individual severe thunderstorms, some very gusty winds. Hail will be a problem in here. So Syracuse, getting over toward Albany. I don't know if the big cities will get this. If they do, it'll be kind of a glancing blow, but it looks like it's going to be most of the interior sections of Pennsylvania and into New York State that's going to see the problems with this low, as you kind of see it just kind of spinning about there here throughout the afternoon for today. Now, again, the biggest story on this, let's talk about the other part of this equation. Again, we're talking about the heavy rain threat here for today, and I do want to take you over to the heavy rain threat. So let's look at that real quick here as I look at the total QPF. So this is only going to go for the next 18 hours. In fact, I tell you what, let's do this. Let's go back this up to the 6Z. I want to take this out for the next 48 hours, okay? The 6Z ones are the ones that go a little bit longer. So let's go take this out for the next 2 days. And it just kind of show you the bullseye heavy rain here across portions of this area here from Oklahoma, Texas, all the way back to Louisiana. They've already been drenched for days on end. And it looks like the bullseye really here over the next couple of days is going to be into Louisiana and Mississippi. And we're talking, that's showing 11 inches there, 8 inches there, 8 inches there. So we got some very, very heavy rainfall amounts here across Louisiana, Mississippi. That's going to be coming on through here over the next 2 days. This is just going for the next 2 days, as this thing's going to linger for days. I mean, really, areas across the southeast are going to get hit pretty good. The northeast, not looking too bad up here for the next 2 days. Obviously, you got that upper low that's up there that's spinning about, but you do have some bullseyes. I mean, there's 4 inches up there across the upstate of New York. Ithaca looking at 2 inches over there. Going into Vermont, you're looking at 1 to 2 inches over here. So some healthy rains for the northeast as well with this storm system. But obviously, the main threat for today is going to be down here across the south. We're talking Texas and Louisiana here for this afternoon. So before we go, let's go ahead and wrap this up and give you one more review again of what we're expecting here for today. As I'll go ahead and pull this once again up as we look at that day one outlook here. So the two problem zones again marginal up across New York and Pennsylvania and into New Jersey, not bad. But obviously across Texas and Louisiana, we do have that enhanced area in here. That's why I do expect we're going to see a few isolated tornadoes potentially in here, especially between Austin, north of Houston, and going over toward the state line, Lufkin, College Station. That whole area in here will be under the gun here for heavy rains, strong gusty winds, and obviously a few isolated tornadoes here for today. All right, that is y'all's morning update here for today. Again, I want to kind of make this a regular thing that I do on top of my regular videos to keep you up when we have active severe weather on a particular day. I want to do these live updates every morning. And if you have any weather-related questions, you can always leave those down below. And remember, please subscribe to the channel there and hit that notification bell so you can get these updates here on a regular basis, as we're going to continue to see that the severe weather continue here for today, as we got that new warning that just came out there across portions of Texas here for this morning. So y'all be weather safe, be weather aware here for today, and we'll see you guys a little bit later for some more live coverage here coming up. All right, you guys have a great day. We'll talk